Hello everyone and welcome back. And we've got another great reaction video for you today. That's what's on tap. And it's one of our favorite senators, Tom Cotton, grilling Brenda Sue Fulton, who happens to be the nominee for the Deputy Secretary of Defense, Military, Community, and Family Affairs. And she made some comments saying that the Bible was twisted. So we're going to get into that in the next few seconds, but before we do so, just want to let you know that you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Nasir. If it's your first time here, you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. Hit that notification bell. Let's get into Senator Tom Cotton grilling and questioning nominee Brenda Sue Fulton.
In your written answers to advanced policy questions, you were asked if troops that are part of religious groups who advocate for socially conservative changes to law should be punished. You responded that as long as they are, quote, acting within the confines of federal law and DOD policy, they should be allowed to exercise their First Amendment rights of free speech and to observe the tenets of their religion. However, on June 30th, 2014, you stated, once again, religious freedom, which you put in quotes, is twisted to mean conservative Christians can dictate their views to the rest of us. I suppose this was in response to the Supreme Court's Hobby Lobby decision. You also advocated for the repeal in that statement of the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which I presume you know was passed almost unanimously by this Congress. It was signed by President Clinton, and it was voted for by President Joe Biden. That law requires the government to demonstrate a compelling government interest before it burdens any person's individual right to freedom of exercise of religion. So if you are confirmed for this position, you'll be in charge of DOD religious policies. You'd have responsibility for overseeing chaplains and religious accommodations. Yet you believe the Religious Freedom Restoration Act is apparently being twisted by conservative Christians to dictate their views to the rest of us. So which is it, Mrs. Fulton? Are you actually going to protect the religious freedom of troops and chaplains, or are you going to ensure that they can't dictate their views to the rest of us under the guise of religious freedom?
Before she answers this, let me give you what I think, is going to happen here. All right. We all know that every single nominee that's being put in place by the Brandon administration is somebody that is against something that this country stands for. Goodness, right? Policies in terms of whatever you talk about, domestic policy, foreign policy, border security, whether it's for religious freedom, whether it's for reproductive rights freedom, whether it's for pro-life, all those policies, every single person that's put forth is not being put forth because they excel at that position or they have a fantastic resume or the bona fides, to satisfy that position or to be in that position or have experience in that position. No, it's all being done to satisfy the far left, the woke ideology, those people in media, the alphabet, networks, right? The media cartel, academia, the hypocrites in Hollywood, anything that can be done, You don't have to satisfy any requirement for the job except for the fact if you fall in what we call intersectionality. You happen to be, of a minority, you happen to be of a person of color, you happen to be a transgender, you have to be a transvestite, to be, gay or bi or whatever it is. That's all that matters against Christianity, against Judaism, against religion, against anything, against the Constitution, against the Bill of Rights, against America. That's all that matters. If you fulfill and check all those boxes, bingo, baby, you're in government. You're going to have something. This lady, Brenda Sue Fulton, she's going to be in charge with a chaplain, and she's basically saying that the Bible and the words are being twisted by conservative Christians. What if she had said about Judaism? The Old Testament, the Torah. What if she had said that about Islam? Or what if she had about Hinduism? Or about, Buddhism? Or Taoism or anything. Hinduism. I mean, come on, folks. This is unbelievable. Anyways, let's hear the response.
Senator, I support religious freedom, and I would support religious freedom for all of our troops, all of our civilian employees, consistent with the law.
Do you believe that the Religious Freedom Restoration Act should be repealed?
No, Senator.
Liar.
Why did you say so on June 30th, 2014?
Senator, I support religious freedom, and I would support religious freedom for our troops.
Are you disappointed with Joe Biden that he voted for the Religious Freedom Restoration Act?
No, Senator.
Liar.
Let's turn to a statement that you had in 2017, where you said the vast majority of white evangelical leaders are utterly unmoored from the gospel of Jesus Christ. The vast majority of white evangelical leaders. What percentage do you mean by the vast majority? Obviously something more than 51% of white evangelical leaders are unmoored from the gospel of Christ. Could you put a number on it?
No, Senator.
Oh man, he is getting after her with these questions. She is in the hot seat. She's squirming. You can see her just by her facial expressions, by the way she's sitting. Her body is tense. She knows she made these statements. She knows she made them. And yet she doesn't want to defend them now because she wants his position so she can continue these radical policies against people of faith that are serving our military and their families as well.
Vast means of great extent or quantity, immense. Do you think 95% of white evangelical leaders are unmoored from the gospel of Christ?
No, Senator.
80%?
No, Senator.
70%?
No, Senator.
51%. It has to be 51, right?
No, Senator.
It has to be at least 51. You said the majority.
Understood, Senator.
Let me ask you this. Why is it white evangelical leaders? There are a lot of black evangelical leaders. There are a lot of Hispanic evangelical leaders. Are black evangelical leaders unmoored from the gospel of Christ?
Senator, I'm not sure the entire context of that, but I would say that there are a wide variety of beliefs. We don't all have the same beliefs. We don't all have the same understanding of the gospel.
Of course we don't. That's why we have things like the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. That's why we respect the freedom of exercise of all of our troops and all of our fellow citizens, whether they're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, or any other race or ethnicity, or whatever their religion is. Yet here you are saying in public that the vast majority of white evangelical leaders are utterly unmoored from the gospel of Jesus Christ. Do you think it's appropriate to claim that anyone is unmoored from the gospel of Christ, any believing Christian, even if you disagree with this or that view they may have on a political controversy?
Senator, while it's consistent with free speech, it's unwise.
So, Ms. Fulton, I think you'll understand why so many members of this committee and this Senate do not think you are fit to take over this position. You are going to be in charge of military
So just like he's saying there, this lady, Brenda Sue Fulton, is going to be in charge of the military chaplains across the United States Armed Forces. So that would be Christian chaplains, Muslim chaplains, Jewish chaplains, Hindu chaplains. I'm sure there's atheist chaplains and woke chaplains and who knows what kind of chaplains they are. But she's going to be in charge of this. And she's against the Restoration Act, okay, in terms of that. All you've got to do is take a look at the positions and the statements that these people make in their previous to being nominated for these positions of power within government, within the State Department, within the deep state, to slowly implement changes that will erode these laws and policies that have already been put in place with their woke ideologies. And we all know, folks, that unfortunately, the armed services of the United States of America, and we love our servicemen and women. We love our brothers and sisters in arms. We love our veterans. We love those that are serving and have served in the past and have given the ultimate sacrifice. But unfortunately, it is right now the people at the top, these generals and admirals and whoever you want to talk about that are at the upper echelon of leadership, these people, okay, are utilizing the armed services throughout the armed services, using it as a woke ideological factory, where basically they're using it for social experimentation. And they are absolutely, in my opinion, and an opinion of many, many people, eroding the, the ideals of being in the armed services. I mean, the idea of the armed services is to defend and protect the Constitution and the United States of America from domestic and foreign involvement, domestic and foreign terrorists, domestic and foreign entities. That's the number one thing, is for defensive purposes. But now they're utilizing all avenues within the Defense Department to basically do social modification, allowing transgenders, allowing pronouns, allowing, woke ideology, all kinds of crap that they're doing. And they're instituting it slowly and slowly and slowly, and using people like Brenda Sue Fulton to accomplish their means. We all know that. Anyways, I just love the fact when these guys come in there and these senators make them squirm in their seats, even if it's for a little bit. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch as much as we enjoyed making this video for you. And if this is the first time or you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, folks. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host today. My name is Dr. Nasir. And hit that notification bell, like, share, and subscribe, and follow us. And I'll leave you with my parting and final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.